Today on Let's Fish TV, we're at Jordan Lake. You know, Jordan Lake is located in central Alabama. We're in the springtime of the year and we're fishing current. We're fishing a lot of current, in fact. The current's ripping through here and we're gonna be targeting spotted bass. You know, spotted bass, they fight hard and they bite hard. And today, I have a feeling it's gonna go down, especially on one of my favorite baits, the Strike King Rage Swimmer. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now. Oh my gosh. Check that out.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southwest region every week.
Cobia! Big one. And a monster!
Look at that!
That's a Tawakoni giant.
This is Let's Fish.
Welcome to Let's Fish TV. I'm your host, Andrew Upshaw. Today, we are at Jordan Lake. Jordan Lake is just over 6,800 acres and it's located in central Alabama. We're here in the springtime and the fish are moving up shallow. We're gonna be targeting those fish with a variety of techniques from shaky heads to swim baits. You know, we're gonna be targeting those big Coosa spotted bass, and that's what we're after today for sure. We'll also have this week's fishing report from your local region, from our insider reporters. In the meantime, I'm gonna get this Bass Cap Mercury launched, get everything set up, and toss it back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining us as we remember and honor our heroes this Memorial Day weekend. The Salooner tables are predicting good game fish activity Saturday and fair activity Sunday and Monday. Look for peak game fish activity to begin early morning at 5:54 Saturday, 6:45 Sunday morning, and 7:36 Monday morning. Best daytime action will begin at 6:20 on Saturday, 7:11 on Sunday, and 8:02 Monday evening. Depending on your area, expect the sun to rise around 6:24 and set around 8:29. This weekend will display a moon that is 49% visible. Stick around, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, Bassmaster Elite Angler Ish Monroe will be here when we return to answer this week's Ask the Pro question.
All right, guys, we're heading out on Jordan Lake. This is a place I've never been before. Don't really have any expectations. I've heard all these great stories of all these giant spotted bass. But honestly, I've been a lot of places all around here. I've never been to Jordan. You know, we have the perfect conditions today. As you can tell, it's dead slick calm. We're supposed to have high sun, almost no wind. Not real sure how they're gonna react this springtime day, but I have a feeling we're gonna catch some fish. There's no doubt about it. We're gonna lock a couple things in our hands. We're gonna go skip some docks. We're gonna fish shallow, try to see if any fish have moved up to spawn. And then at the end of the day, we're probably gonna finish it out in a little canal that splits off to New Lake Jordan and see if some of those fish are relating to current. You know, one way or another, guys, we're gonna find some fish and we're gonna catch some fish today. I hope y'all enjoyed today. I know I'm sure going to. And hopefully, we'll show you some big spotted bass. Oh, there we go. There's a nice spotted bass, guys. There we go. We're here at Lake Jordan in central Alabama. And as you can tell, we're fishing in current right now. Drifting a little rage swimmer around. And here's a really nice bass here. Oh God, look how blown out that fish is there. Check that out, guys. Look at the belly on that spotted bass. Hooked right in the top of the mouth, right where they're supposed to be. You know, the cool thing about Lake Jordan is there's actually what they call New Lake Jordan that has a canal running to it, and they have the old Lake Jordan. This place has a ton of current right now. They had a lot of rain here recently, and man, what a nice spotted bass. And that's what we're after today, is catching spotted bass. Let's get this fish back real quick and we'll talk a little bit about Jordan and how we target these spots. You know, Lake Jordan is actually a pretty small lake, just about 17 miles long, and we're fishing in extreme current. You know, extreme for me, maybe not extreme for this area, but a lot of current. We're drifting down through here. We're not really using our trolling motors. We're using one of my favorite little baits, the 2.75 inch Rage Swimmer. This little Rage Swimmer catches them from the East Coast all the way to the West and everywhere else in between. It's just a really good bait. Today we're gonna walk you through the process of how to catch them here at Jordan, and maybe you'll be able to use this on your lake. But guys, it's a really specialty technique, so I'm gonna try to get me another fish in the boat, and we'll talk a little bit more about how to fish it and how to effectively fish in the current to help catch these nice spotted bass. I'm gonna get back out there and see if we can catch another one though.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by Athlon Optics. Not only do they make premier optics at a fantastic price, but they have a lifetime warranty on all Athlon Optics products. Now this week we've come to beautiful Eagle Mountain Lake just north of Fort Worth, where just a couple of weeks ago a tournament was won with a 44.5 pound 5 bass limit. That's almost 9 pounds of fish. This lake is on fire for bass right now. You'll want to start your day with your topwaters around the reeds and docks and smaller creeks, but by the end of the day, when the sun's high in the sky, you'll probably want to be fishing docks, and everybody else fishes those very same docks as well, so you need to be able to get up under them. If you can't skip a jig, you need to learn how. Start with spinning gear so you don't have to fight the backlash. Use a swim jig or a bladed jig and practice throwing that up under those docks, skipping it where it hits the water just in front of the dock and skips back under where all the shade is. When you get good at that, you can transition to a bait caster, use a little heavier test, and you'll be catching some good Eagle Mountain bass. Now, over in deep East Texas, Cypress Springs Lake, the crappie are on fire. They're out on the main lake. You'll want to look in 20 to 25 feet of water for the brush piles, and you'll find the crappie suspended 10 to 15 feet deep. Drop down your crappie jigs and your minnows, and you'll catch plenty of Cypress Springs crappie. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes. Check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
What a nice spotted bass. That thing absolutely destroyed it. Another nice little fish, about a 2.25 pounder. Ate that rage swimmer down. Let me just get this fish back real quick. But guys, let me tell you something. Fishing this rage swimmer this way and drifting it down this river, this hard current, has really been the key. You know, just taking that little 2.75 inch. But I think the biggest key is the weight of the jig head. If you use too heavy of a jig head, it's not gonna drift down. If you use too light of a jig head, it's gonna float too high. And in this case, I'm throwing a 1/4 ounce. And I really think that that's one of the big keys, is having the right size jig head. I'm using 12-pound line. And the big key when you retrieve this thing is you don't wanna cast down the river, and you don't really necessarily wanna cast right here. You wanna kinda angle it at about a 45, that direction. You cast almost to the bank, okay? And the bait's gonna start dropping, and you're gonna feel it drifting down. You're gonna just keep your rod tip high, so you just keep bouncing that bait down through the river. And that's when they've tended to eat the bait better than anything. And you kinda wanna keep your boat the same speed as the drift. And having a good trolling motor is really important. You know, in this case, we're anchored down with our Motor Guide Tour Pro because we just caught that fish. So it's really, really important to make sure you keep that speed the exact same. But you see how I'm just keeping that rod tip high and I'm just making that bait bounce? That's the biggest key when trying to catch these spotted bass on Jordan Lake. But I'm gonna get back out there. Guys, I'm actually starting to figure something out. I'm really excited to maybe catch me one of those real big Coosa spots, those 5+ pounders. Yeah, I'm gonna get after it, I promise you that. I'll be back in just a minute.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, the ultimate fishing system, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan or book your fishing charter at orangebeach.com. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor, powered by Passion. Glacier Outdoor, outdoors since 1982.
Another nice one. Man, he choked it. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Another nice one. Man, he choked it. There we go. Golly, guys, they are fired up here on this canal. Not a bad little fish, almost a 2-pounder. Just a really good spotted bass. But guys, you know, I want to talk to you about a couple of the little adjustments that we made today. So I first figured out that those fish had slid out a little bit deeper, and so we started bouncing that swim bait along the bottom a little bit deeper than usual. We caught some drum, and then all of a sudden the bite just stopped. It was like cold turkey, just no more bites whatsoever. And then I started looking at my active target, and actually just a second ago I looked up there and I saw a couple bass a little bit shallower than I'd been fishing. And so, you know, I said, you know what, I need to throw up there. Well, the first few casts I threw up there with that 1/4 ounce jig head, I kept snagging. And that's really important to pay attention to that. So I actually switched to a 3/16 ounce ball head, same rage swimmer, and I was able to load the boat. And it's really important to pay attention to your jig head size when you're out there on the water and when you have to change the depth of which you're fishing. You know, had I stayed with that 1/4 ounce, I would have probably snagged a way more, especially in that little bit shallower water.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with this week's Let's Fish Outdoor Report. Tell you what, coming to you from Hackberry, Louisiana, right here at Cajun Paradise Charters. We're gonna start off on the saltwater side. We're gonna go down to Venice, Louisiana. Still getting some good reports offshore, some tuna catches going on. It has slowed down just a little bit, but I tell you what, the trout fishing and red fishing down there, been talking to my guide buddies, they're doing great. Sometimes they're throwing croakers, sometimes they're throwing live shrimp, but I tell you what, artificials are catching a lot of fish also. On the freshwater side of things, right now, across the whole state of Louisiana, from everywhere from a small pond to a big lake, Toledo Bend, Caddo, Bistineau, the bluegill are spawning. And if you want to try to catch a big bass, target those bluegill beds or perch or chickapin beds for your bigger fish. Throw a small, shallow diving crankbait. Also, throw a big 10, 12-inch worm, drag it through them brim beds slowly or around them. Lots of big bass getting caught, but that lets you know the bluegill are biting. Crickets, worms seems to be the key there. Main thing, get up shallow, look for it. You'll see all the little blonde spots dug out, and you'll catch you a bunch of big old perch and chickapin. For Old Cajun Phil, Captain Kevin Broussard saying, happy fishing, may God bless. We're gonna see you next week. Let's fish.
There we go. Oh man, that's just a little baby spotted bass, but you know what? It's a lot of fun. Oh gosh. Once again, we switched that jig head size. Got to hit that anchor lock on that trolling motor. Switch our jig head size. That's only about 1.5 pounds. I mean, it's nothing really crazy. But the most important thing is that we're catching fish.
Hi, this is Matt Pangrac with the Bass Talk Live podcast, and this is your Oklahoma fishing report for the week. I want to focus on a really cool lake in southeastern Oklahoma this week, and that is Broken Bow Lake. 14,000 acres located in the Ouachita Mountains. This is your opportunity to catch all 3 species of bass. The lake has both largemouth, smallmouth, and spotted bass. Right now, you have water temperatures in the mid-70s, and those smallmouth are going to be focused on the lower end of the lake. You want to throw topwater walking baits, Zara spooks in shad patterns, and look for schooling fish that are focusing on shad. You can also target spotted bass this time of the year. It's post-spawn with that water temp in the mid-70s. They're going to be offshore over standing timber. Use a drop shot with a 4-inch robo worm in morning dawn color to get the job done for that. And then the largemouth will also be schooling mixed in with the smallmouth. Hey, if you want to know more about bass fishing across the country and professional bass fishing, tune into the Bass Talk Live podcast every Monday through Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Central Time on BassZone.com.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Visit Mississippi. Wanderers welcome. Powerful. Total Boat Control. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. Rely on. Challenge your limits.
Oh, there we go. That feels like a bass. Is it a drum? There we go. That's a good one there. Oh yeah. A nice spotted bass there. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. Ooh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Check that one out right there. I mean, just such a nice spotted bass. We've got this thing dialed in. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna get this fish back real quick and we'll talk a little bit about Jordan Lake and how we are exactly catching them and how you can catch them if you ever come out here. Today, it's been all about the 2.75 inch rage swimmer. You know, the 2.75 inch rage swimmer has always been a special swim bait for me. And you know, Strike King has a lot of different sizes in the rage swimmer, ranging from the 2.75 all the way to a 5.75. And I do throw those as well, especially on deeper ledges, but that's for another day. But the 2.75 is one that I turn to in almost all fishing situations. And it's one that I've just caught them on everywhere I go. In this situation, I'm throwing the color Ghost Shad. Ghost Shad is more of a transparent shad color. You know, if I was dealing with, let's just say, cloudy conditions, I would have gone to more of a white or like a sight flash rage swimmer. But today has been high sun and zero wind. And that's when you need to go a little bit more natural approach. That 3/16 though has definitely paid off. But you know, just as important as the color and the size jig head is the rod that you use. This is a Mark Zona 610 medium action extra fast. This is one that I turn to in a lot of different fishing situations, and it just is super sensitive. I can set the hook on those fish and I know without a doubt I'm gonna get that hook driven in and I'm gonna catch that fish. But overall, guys, today has been one of those fantastic days. We've caught a lot of really nice spotted bass.
Hey everyone, Captain Taylor Burrell here with Wave Dancer Charters for this week's fishing report. Glad to be back in the States for my honeymoon. Not really, but anyways, it was good to get back home. We had fabulous weather the past few days. The trout and the surf have been going off every morning. We've been having our limits by about 7:30, 8 o'clock every morning. Not really big ones, but their numbers are definitely there. Our biggest one was probably up to 22, 23 inches. Down at the jetties though, they're still catching lots of trout, sheep's head, redfish. The big sharks are starting to move in, so that's going pretty well too. Offshore is about to start heating up with snapper season, opening up June 1st, and it's gonna be full swing then. Remember guys, if you wanna get out on the water down here in Galveston, Texas, just look us up, Wave Dancer Charters. Y'all have a good one.
Oh, there we go. That feels like a bass. Is it a drum? Oh, that's a bass. That's another big spot. There we go. Come here, baby. All right, there we go. Man, I mean, you're talking about I'm hooked in the perfect spot with that jig head. Another nice bass. You know, guys, today has been a lot of fun. I mean, we caught a lot of fish, throwing that rage swimmer, paying attention to little bitty things like jig head size, how much light was coming in by picking the right color. You know, we didn't have a whole lot of information on this lake today. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest with you. Kind of showed up and just went fishing. And sometimes that's what you need to do. And I've never seen this body of water in my entire life, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I learned a technique today, and I hope you've learned a technique today. You know, this is just kind of drifting that little swim bait through the current, catching some really nice spotted bass. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, this place has way bigger spotted bass than I've caught today. You know, I've caught some really nice ones. But I'm telling you, this place has that 3 to 4 to 5 pound spot. You need to come down here to Jordan Lake if you get a chance. And like I said before, there's a lot of really great bodies of water all around here. Lay Lake, just upstream from here, happens to be one of my favorite places to fish in Alabama. You can't go wrong in Alabama. I mean, it's got a ton of fish everywhere all through here. But spotted bass, man, I kind of equate them the same as smallmouth. They fight hard, they bite hard, and you can't ask for much better from a largemouth spotted bass or smallmouth bass. So overall, had a great time here at Jordan. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. Make sure y'all stay tuned. We're gonna talk about how we caught them here.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lose, Feel the Difference, Mamba Boats, Ride with Pride, Strike King, Taiwan On, Fishing Specialties, makers of the premier mount assembly for live sonar.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's get right on over to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Martin would like to know, what is the most expensive thing that you have lost in the lake? To get the answer, we checked with Bassmaster Elite Angler Ish Monroe.
My question was, what's the most expensive thing that I lost in the lake? You want to know what it is? It's that 8 to 10 pound bass that I lost in a tournament that cost me 100 grand. I worked on this fish for almost 2 hours, finally get it to bite, and what does it do? Jumps and comes off. And that was $100,000 that I lost back in the lake. So that is the most expensive thing that I've ever lost in the lake.
Thank you so much, Ish. If you want some help from one of the pros too, all you have to do is go to letsfishtv.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and submit your question.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Today on Jordan Lake, I was a one rod Todd. I kept one rod lock in my hand. Don't get me wrong, I went and sampled some stuff. I even caught one really nice crappie offshore. Skipped some docks, things like that. But honestly, there was one bait that caught almost all my spotted bass, and that was a 2.75 inch Strike King Rage Swimmer in the Ghost Shag color. You know, I alternated between a 3/16 and a 1/4 ounce size weight. I sampled also a lot of different line sizes from 8, 10 to 12 pound test Strike King Contra fluorocarbon, and I finally landed on 12 pound fluorocarbon. I didn't lose near as many jig heads, and I caught almost every bass that bit. I attached that to a leader with 10 pound Strike King yellow braid. I like the yellow, guys. I know some guys don't like yellow braid, but I really like it. I can detect the bites with my eyes and not just feeling them. But let me be honest with you, when those spotted bass hit that swim bait, you absolutely knew it. It was like ka-toom. I mean, it was awesome. I attached that to the brand new Custom Light Speed Spin. This is a new spinning reel by Lose. This is by far, and I've used all the Lose spinning reels throughout the last 10 or 12 years. It's by far the best spinning reel they've ever made. Has a superior drag system. It is absolutely the best you will ever put in your hands. Attach that to a Team Lose Signature Series spinning rod, 610 in size. Overall, guys, I can tell you all the great things about this combo, but the one thing it absolutely did was put a lot of fish in the boat for me today. I had an absolute blast here, caught a lot of fish. I'll be back to Jordan Lake, and I hope y'all get a chance to come by here and check it out yourselves. Until next time, though, I'll see you on the water.